If you don't already know, I have a Twitch channel where I stream pretty consistently. And on that channel, Burntcookie just decided to pull a huge story out of nowhere while we were streaming. So, hope you enjoy the story, and see you in the next video.
All started in 1986. Some random guy showed up into my door and said, "Hey, you want to be in a racing game?" And I'm like, "Sure, why not?" So I go to the studio to record my lines as a voice actor. So, and then yeah, we're done.
That's the end
And
of the
then
story.
he's like, "No, bro, we still have like an hour left." Okay, so yeah, I I do the lines and then I have to, and then he just says like, "Lol, you wanna go to Burger King?" And I'm like, "Sure." So me and him went to Burger King, and me and him saw some guy in the back getting murdered.
I like how you were tempted to say trick snap.
I was gonna be like, "This ain't TF2."
This ain't TF2.
He got killed with a butter knife, not a butterfly knife.
Damn, big sad.
Damn, must be sad if you get killed by a butter knife.
It actually
hurt.
would be.
I don't think, unless you like really jam it, I don't think it could kill.
I mean, criminals be really jamming it though.
Jamming it to the beat.
Like if you get the joke.
Okay, so he's murdering him, and in my mind I'm like, damn, that's cool. So me and him leave Burger King, and he says, "Oh yeah, I haven't told you my name. My name is let me look up generic white name. My name is what's generic white name? Think of a generic white name."
Zebra.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, he said, "My name is Mark." And I'm like, "Nice to meet you, Mark, blah blah blah." Okay, I'm tired, so I go back to my house. And I'm like, "Yeah, he really didn't see that guy getting murdered. I swear, man." And then Mark called me the minute after. He's just like, "Well, did you see the guy getting murdered?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's just like, "Damn. Okay." And Mark is secretly a policeman. I'm just like, "You gotta help me solve this case." And I'm like, "I don't want to," but he's like, "I'll arrest you if you do because you didn't help him." And I'm like, "Fine." Okay, so me and this guy are now, so he recruits me in the police, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm a policeman now. And he has his dog friend named like, generic dog name,
Mark.
with that. Mark the dog. Okay, yes. So Mark the dog, he's a canine obviously. Mark, he's trying to lick his ass, but no, he can't.
Which Mark?
That's for you to figure that out. That's gonna be okay. So Mark, the dog, he's being dumb. He's probably, I think he has a seizure right now, but Mark is like, "You know what, he's fine." He does that sometimes. And then I asked him, "What's that white stuff coming from his mouth?" And he's like, "Oh, that's just spit." Sure, I say. Okay. So, okay. So, Mark brought us sandwiches, and he passed me one, and I ate it. And then Mark the dog, he looked at my sandwich and and then he jumped at me. He bit my hand, and then the sandwich was gone. And then I got really sad because my sandwich is gone because the dog ate it. So I called my mom, and she just teleported into the police office, and then she just karate chopped the dog and it died. Uh,
Well, I don't think
and
that's really
and then
legal.
she and then my mom told the dog, "You better not do that again." And then the dog looks at her with bleeding. The dog is dead. He just died. Okay, the dog died. And then Mark, the human, was like, "No, how could you?" And, and then I was like, "Tough tumbleweeds." And then, so next day, he's like, "Well, we need to find some clues about this murder, so we better head to Burger King." So we go to Burger King, and he's just like, "Bro, we need some burgers. See the sample of the murder." And then I see some red stuff on the wall, and I'm wondering if either it's ketchup or it's blood. So I lick it, and I'm like, tastes kind of salty. So it's kind of blood. Okay. And Mark looks at me, and he's just like, "Good detective." And so I'm like, "Thanks." So I lick the wall more, and I'm like, has a weird flavor. So we find some what?
Finger plants.
Finger, fingerprints on a spatula, and we're like, maybe he used this to murder somebody. And he was like, "I don't think so, son. It's a little too dull." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right." So we both head out, and then I'm like, "Damn, I'm hungry. We should eat at Burger King." So we go back in, I ask for a burger, and then this man just looks at me and he's just like, "Are you sure about that?" And then I'm like, "Yeah, why not?" And then I order a burger, and I noticed the ketchup was weird. It's like the blood was like, the ketchup was like, the ketchup was like slimy and stuff, and like it looked a little greenish, and I'm like, "What's up?" So I go up to the cash register, and I'm like, "Yo, man, what's up with this ketchup?" And he's just like, "Nothing, nothing. Just eat your burger." So I go back to my table, I eat the burger, and I'm like, "Wait a minute. This ain't right." And then I see some guy bolt out the door, and I'm like, "Oh my god, he's the killer. Let's get him." So me and Mark chase after this killer guy, and and then he's just like, and then we chased after him. Random, some random guy. He was drinking beer, and he just flopped on the ground. But then the guy, just the serial killer, he just tripped on him. And then we handcuffed him, and then we were like, "Why'd you do?" And he was like, "It tasted weird." And I was like, "What the hell does that mean?" So we took him back to the police station, and then we started to question him, and he was like, "Bruh, I don't know, man. Uh, he was getting on my nerves, and also blood kind of tastes kind of tasty. Not gonna lie." And then I look at him and I say, "You know, blood kind of tastes kind of good. Not gonna lie, that blood burger kind of tastes like it's spicy." Okay, so next day, and I'm like, "God damn it, I was sick." So I'm sick, and I'm like, ill, I'm dying. So I'm like, "Mark, can you fill in for me?" And he's like, "Sure, why not?" So Mark goes to question him. He's just like, "Why the hell did you do it? Why'd you kill him?" And he's just like, "Oh, first he took all the ketchup and he just ate it all. And yeah, it made me mad. So I made his blood the ketchup." And it's like, "Damn, why'd you do that?" He's like, "Well, tastes good." And yeah, I just told you. It's like, okay. Well, so some people came in, you're like asking them questions, and then the people in black suits tell Mark, well, he's a psychopath. And he's just like, well, no crap. And I'm like, damn. So I'm unsick, and yeah. I go into the police station, and he's just like, well, you find out that he's a psychopath, and I'm like, no shit. And he's just like, well, that's how it be. And both we both find some ketchup on the ground, and then we're like, yeah, wow, this is some yummy stuff. And then we both have a coma, and then it's been 10 years. 10 years since we ate the ketchup, and I'm like, what the hell? And I'm like, so the year is 2029. Things have changed. Somehow they managed to make a car that doesn't need energy. Doesn't need energy or gas. Just uses hydrogen for some reason. Yeah. The kids are playing with like these blow dryer things that makes them fly. And yeah. So they drink it. I mean, so they're playing, and I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, I'm flying. And I'm like, what is that? It's the new sub skyer. Like, what the hell's a sub skyer? And they're like, if you never, you look like you've been in a coma for 10 years. And I'm like, huh.
So Joseph questions me on whether or not I was actually listening to him, and then after that he kind of forgets where he was. So that's why he kind of goes back to the coma part.
Okay. After they are done with their coma, they're like, well, what happened to the murderer? And then they read the news, and then they're like, damn. And then they find out this guy killed himself. And then they're like, damn, what a flex. So he's like, Mark said, you want a cigarette? And I'm just like, fine. So I smoked it. We both died because drugs are bad. The end.